Hi everybody, I'm Brad with BigFamilyHomestead.com, and normally I have very jovial, awesome, video kind of topics and fun homesteading things, but today I've got something a little more serious. I hope you'll bear with me, and the topic for today is, you really think you own that?
Attention, attention, this is an official heavy alert. Brad will now officially get heavy.
So here it is. I've been thinking on this a lot and studying a lot, and inside the homestead community, the farming community, the prepping community, the self-reliant community, we are absolutely as much of that as we can be. We're self-reliant. We don't wait around for somebody else to do something. We don't just sit on our butts. We get up and we make it happen, whether it's food, energy, whatever. Now, it's funny because I think it might have been Ronald Reagan, don't quote me on this, but what are the most 9 terrifying words that you can hear? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Run away. So the more I get into this self-reliant homesteading mentality where I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody else to do something for me, or a welfare check, or a goodie pack, or an Obama phone, or whatever it is that you may be waiting on, or heaven forbid, think you need that someone's just gonna give you as a handout. Well, first of all, let me remind you, that handout doesn't come from thin air. Somebody's paying for it. Somebody, and it's probably you, because if you're here and you're self-reliant, that means you're probably working. It probably means you're paying your taxes, yada, yada, yada. But that's not the point. The point today is, you really think you own that? So I've been thinking a lot along the lines of America, the idea of America, where we've come from, where we've gone through all the different muck and all the kind of stuff that we've been through, and where we are today. And I woke up probably a couple years ago from my Pollyanna idea that we're not in the 40s and 50s anymore. And maybe we never were. I don't know, but I grew up thinking that it could be like that, and our politicians could be honest, and we could be, you know, if you just pick yourself up by your bootstraps, you can make it, and there won't be unfair taxation, there won't be unfair this and unfair that, and all this crazy nonsense that is just dumped upon us. And I finally woke up to the fact that we're not there anymore. And it seems more and more that we are taken from a little more every day. Our freedoms are taken a little more, and we're less like that place that used to be just awesome. And I think the single biggest straw that broke my camel's back was the realization that you'll never own your own property. Let that sit for a second, because you may not believe me. Here's the reality. Let's say that you work your butt off. You get a down payment and you get a mortgage and you find a piece of a piece of property and you get a mortgage and you pay for it 30 years. Faithfully, bam, 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 bam. You own it, right? Well, what happens if you decide that you don't want to pay property taxes? What do? They take it, right? And in some cases, you may end up in jail. My point is, you'll never own your own property. You are now renters. They will always be into you for more and more and more and more and more. It didn't used to be that way. This is not going to be a history lesson. If you want to find out about that, check it out for yourself. The reality is that the property tax system, the way it is today, is not the way it's always been. Now, that said, let me just expand your brain just a little bit bigger. Now, here's the thing. Yes, we want roads. Yes, we should pay taxes. Yes, we want police and fire and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm talking about is excessive amounts of just everything dumped on you. Think about it. Pick up your light bill. Look at your electric bill and look at how much you're actually paying, and then what taxes you're paying. In my case, I'm actually paying more tax by a lot than I am the electric I use. Look at your wastewater. Look at any tax bill you pay. Pick up anything you pay, and I guarantee you're like, oh my gosh. I actually had a friend that he said, you want to reform the taxation system in the United States of America? Here's a very simple way to do it. It'll happen overnight. He said, every teeny weeny little tax you pay, make the American people actually get out a checkbook and write an individual check for that tax. I don't care if it's 5 cents, $1, $3.50, whatever, whether it's internet tax or this or that or whatever, make them write a check. And after they've written those 300 checks, they're probably going to wake up and see that there's a lot of stuff in there that they don't agree with and doesn't need to be there in the first place. So I digress a little bit, but coming back to the point, you will never own your own property, and I hate that idea. That's something that is abhorrent to me, and that is not, it just doesn't feel right. As a homesteader, it doesn't feel like I should be subject. I mean, when you think about it, what is a country? A country is a bunch of individuals. Our government is a bunch of individuals, just like you and me, that we have allowed, given the privilege of managing things. Well, you can decide if they've managed well enough or not. I'm going with, I'd really like to just be left alone and do my thing. So here's where I actually get to the real meat and potatoes of this video. It's not, do you own that? That is just to get you in the mindset of thinking about stuff that's going on around us. Because we, as homesteaders, farmers, preppers, self-reliant, we tend to kind of condense down, and we only hang out with people that like the stuff we like, and we really only stay in our box, so to speak. Well, here's the reality. All of these wiggy things that are happening with politics and law, whether or not you've got some new property tax where you can't do this, or you can't do that, or they're gonna make you build this or that, or not build this or that based on stuff you don't even want. The point is this, that we kind of tend to stay in our own little group, and we're getting ready to get run over. This is the encouragement of the video. Figure out what it is that is in your world that you can affect. Don't just sit in your own little box. My point is this. If we will start paying attention to our local politics and getting involved, calling people, hey, is this true that you blah, blah, blah? Let's start to become the people that we should have been all along, and that's engaged and active. Keep in mind, do I like driving on roads? Yes. Do I like having the fire department, police? Yes. I am not against paying taxes. What I am against is unfair nonsense that's getting rammed down our throat every day, and our freedom's being taken away more and more and more. So my encouragement is just pay attention to what's going on around you. Here's the thing. Here's just one little tidbit. Look up Agenda 21. UN Agenda 21, and if that doesn't scare the bejeebers out of you, I really don't know what will, because it's actually usurping the authority of the United States as a sovereign nation and giving authority to the United Nations to make laws that are enforced on you and me. Territories. Look it up. I'm not gonna baby feed you the information. If it's important enough, you'll look it up yourself. Check it out, find out. If I'm full of baloney, tell me I'm full of baloney. It's kind of up to you. Anyway, sorry to be a little heavy. I'll try to be a little more light in the next video. Just had a really kind of a brain dump day, and I wanted to kind of hopefully share with you guys that we are the solution, that we have to get vocal, we have to get involved, or else it won't change. It just won't. So I'm Brad with Big Family Homestead, and you have an amazing day.